think just like you said, going about the Cougars and San Jose State is how we'll move into college football. So that game ended in double overtime. But
I don't think people
win.
genuinely understand.
Crazy
like
game.
especially East Coast people, because I get it. Because it was like I think it was 11:30 when I finally was able to put my phone down and go to bed. I don't think that the East Coast does not I get it. You guys definitely have better football. The SEC's better football. I get it. But the Pac-12 after dark, I don't think people understand how. Can't we just have a normal game? No. Double overtime. Jake Dickert, our coach, said he got out coached. The players won the game. First quarter, 10-7, we were down. Second quarter, we put up 17-7. I don't know what that score is because I'm terrible at math. We were up by it was 24-7 or 24-17. Out of the third quarter, we didn't play football.
Nope.
We gave 21 points. We didn't want to score. We were good. And then in the fourth, we put up 22, and they put up 8. First overtime, or the overtimes, we put up 8. They put up 6. We missed an extra point. It was just sloppy. They just ran flats.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean, and their quarterback is he was our backup last year.
Oh, I did hear about that.
He had 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Basically the same for Mateer. 390, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Mateer had 111 yards on the ground again. Like, what the heck? And a touchdown. I mean, the team still looks fine, but they have to be better for Boise State. They're right now, the Cougs are technically the 26th ranked team. They're going to Boise State, who's the 25th ranked team. It's going to be a really fun game. Again, I don't know if it's technically a Pac-12 after dark because it's in the Mountain West Stadium, but it's at 8 o'clock at night, our time. It could be 7. I don't know if it's I think it's 8, but I don't know if it's mountain time. It might be mountain time, so it might be an hour different. But anyway, I don't know if I should say they should have lost, but they definitely got out. They definitely got out coached because teams can just, I mean, you watched a little bit of the game, just the quick outs and just the...
Oh, they just dominated.
Just quick outs right here. And just
7-8 yards.
No matter, every guaranteed play. Yeah. The running defense was good, I thought. They were fine. They wrapping up and getting to the backfield pretty quick, hitting the running back early. The offense was a little interesting. I don't know if it looked great, but it obviously, it's like when someone puts up, went 26 for 46, 390 yards. It's not
super accurate.
It's not bad, but it's not great. 8.5 yards a play. You had guys, Kyle Williams had 138 yards and a touchdown. Meredith had 89 yards and a touchdown. Hudson we got kind of banged up. Kyle Williams left the game at one point. Hudson left the game. It's just kind of all over the place. But, hey, they're 4-0. I think they should be ranked at 24, 25, whatever. If they beat Boise State, I think they actually drop up. To me, I think they should jump up past the 20s. I think to me, this is their, besides really Tech and Washington, this Boise State game is the biggest game. At Fresno State should be a win. Hawaii in Pullman should be a win. At San Diego State, Utah, New Mexico, Oregon State could be a fun one. And then you close the year with Wyoming. The Boise State game is if you want to go undefeated, this is your make or break game.
The one you got to do.
Should be fun. I don't know what the favorite odds are. It says they have the Boise State at 61.9.
Yeah, close.
They have the spread at 7.5 for Boise, so a touchdown, basically home field.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very, very good game. It's over under 64 points. So, if you want to stay awake on the East Coast, it should in my opinion, it might be one of the more entertaining. I don't know all the games this next week, but I think it might be one of the more entertaining games. If I'm looking at them, you have a couple of top matchups, but Notre Dame, Louisville is kind of a good one.
Out of curiosity, though, just because I know the NFL and college are different.
You have a very good game. Alabama and Georgia play this weekend.
What do you think about the overtime format? Just how college football works?
I like it. I like it a lot more. I think that the NFL needs to keep the fact that first, if you score a touchdown first, you win, because the NFL, they can go on forever. They're good enough players. I like the idea that you still start on the 25-yard line. It keeps the game entertaining. We don't need to drive the whole field and then drive the whole, because in college it could go back. They might not make it to field goal range. I like the 25-yard line. I like the fact that after the second one, you have to go for 2.
I thought that was cool. I didn't know that. I heard.
Yeah, I knew that. That's been around.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's been, I think, 2 years now.
It makes it quicker, because if you miss
100%. 100%. I think it does make it a lot more entertaining, because it forces you to make a play, and then if you don't make it, so sometimes you want to go second, but then when you get to second overtime, it doesn't matter. And they also flip-flop. So if you get the ball first in the first overtime, you're getting the ball second in the second overtime.
I noticed that, yeah.
So, and then you kind of know what you have to do. Like say whoever, San Jose State goes down and kicks a field goal, then the Cougs know they have to kick a field goal. Should be a fun game. It's not really a rivalry. It will be because they're joining the Mountain West or they're joining the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So I think this will become kind of I don't want to call it an Apple Cup, but Idaho is not. Literally, Pullman is in Idaho. Like it is. Yes. It's like 20 minutes away. It's literally right there. And usually Moscow, the University of Idaho, is like they're usually neighbors, and they used to have the longest active basketball game in history, but they closed it due to I can't remember exactly what it was. Just a couple years ago they stopped doing it, but it was some sort of. I think it was because Idaho moved down. They're like an FCS school now or whatever.
Yeah.
They moved down, and so the Cougs were like, well, we get more money because it's a bigger game. And they were like, there was some sort of financial thing. This is going to become, to me, your new kind of Apple Cup. This is regionalized into an area where it's, I don't know how far it is, 6-7 hours probably apart, maybe. This will be a good game. It'll be fun. And I think there'll be a lot of Cougs that will travel to Boise for it.
Yeah, but I think I had a couple. I mean, UW did beat Northwestern. It wasn't anything good to watch, to be honest with you. It was 24-5. Defense was very solid.
The defense looked better. Will Rogers did not look. He looks fine. I just think that they're
not exciting.
I think their coaching is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I think it's Jeff Fish.
It's Fish is the head coach, and they have Pete Carroll's kid as their offensive coordinator, and Belichick's kid as their defense coordinator. There is nothing, and again, it's a total transition year for the UW.
Yeah.
They lost everything, and that's crazy. I don't think this is their year at all. No. I mean, I know they're 3-1. They lost to the Cougs. The Apple Cup's in Pullman. But I think they'll be fine. I think it'll take them a year or two. I don't think Jeb Fish is the right Jed.
It's Jeff.
Jeff. I don't think it's Jeff at all. I think it's Jeb. I think it's Jeb or Jed.
I will find out right now.
I don't think that they...
Jed.
Told you.
Did not know that.
He came from Arizona. I don't think that they are in a position under him to be a successful program. No. He's never really been a successful coach anywhere he's gone. Yes, he took Arizona to they won 9 straight games last year, whatever they did, and they went to a bowl game and won. Like, whatever. I think they have to find a new coach. And I don't think they're going to do it right away, but I think that they were pressured into finding someone so quick because DeBoer obviously left.
Yeah.
Whatever. So to me, I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know what that quite looks like, but like you said, they looked good, but again, I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I don't like the Huskies. I want them to lose every game. Northwestern is not a good program. They're not a good football team. The Huskies are going to have to prove themselves. They go to Rutgers next week, which is literally across the country for them, and then Michigan comes to town.
Actually, speaking about Michigan.
Yeah, they had a great game.
Yeah, but their quarterback, who I have something else to say later, but he had through like 8 passes.
12.
12, yeah.
He had 7 completions. But that's what they did last year too with Harbaugh. I mean, a lot of it would. This is where I had my question marks with JJ McCarthy was Michigan just ran the absolute criminally out of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what they did again.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think Jack Tuttle, because I was looking at it earlier, I think he was their starter. And this is Alex
Orgy.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, tough name.
Don't know, buddy. Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Let's just keep it with that.
Alex O.
Yeah. It was obviously his first start, but I was like, 12 passes? I guess now that I get
when you get 159 yards out of your running back with 2 touchdowns, and then your backup gets 74, keep running the dang ball until USC figures it out, because they did not stop the run.
But, I mean, it was a close game. They did
technically
upset USC because of the rankings.
Yeah, 18-11. And now I think it's 12-13 or something. They moved.
Yeah, so 27-24. I mean, they were both in the game. I was watching it towards the end, but
100%.
It was fun. I mean, the cool thing about Alex was when he was interviewed after the game, obviously kind of said exactly what CJ Stroud has said. I feel like he's setting that table. But it was just cool to see because I don't remember what the question was, but I just was so focused on him talking.
That's what he says right away. And it doesn't matter what the question is. He wasn't even he probably heard the question, but the first thing he thinks is, I give glory to God and
it's a really cool clip. I'll at least put it up so you can see it. Yeah. But I would definitely recommend watching it. Didn't have the words to say that after a football game, even though, I mean, I don't know, it was cool.
The fact that that's where your first thoughts are, especially after a big game like this. This is a big game. This is a huge game for Michigan. After they got just trounced by Texas to come back and still prove that they are still one of those top 12 teams.
Yeah.
To be able to have that on your mind first is really cool. It's a big win for Michigan. I don't think it kills either side like at all. I don't think it kills USC's season. I mean, I think it sucks for them.
I just think it was a good game for both of them because, like I said, it wasn't like a blowout by any way, any means. So
no, and like
we'll see what happens.
USC, I think, has Wisconsin at home, which this is just you're just getting into Big Ten football. This is it's a different ball game. It's it's like I've said before. I think each Power 5 when they were there or they still are there, kind of whatever. They have very different styles, and I think the Pac-12 for a long time was a lot of flair, a lot of speed, a lot of option plays, a lot of moving quarterbacks, and all these. They were kind of the first league to start all that kind of crap. And I think USC is starting to kind of the ground and pound is we got to be ready for this. This is a different football. So, but I agree, it was a great game.
I think the last one that I had, at least that I was going to cover, is BYU upset number 13 Kansas State, and they just dominated them. It was 38-9.
Yeah, BYU's a good program.
I was kind of surprised because they're not ranked. If I hadn't looked at it right, but to beat number 13, I mean that's got to be a good team, and to put up, 38 points on them. So they just dominated them and didn't let up points.
Yeah, I had a couple other ones I'll kind of go through. I agree.
We should always cover Central. But they lost, so I'll just kind of.
Do you actually look that up?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
But they lost, and I was like, "Oh man."
Missouri, Vanderbilt missed a field goal in double overtime.
Okay.
And Missouri's number 7. A lot of people think that they're like going to be this like sneaky kind of get in there. You can't lose. You can't be close to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a terrible program, so not a great game out of them. Yeah, baseball they're very good, but not a great game. Buffalo obviously upset NIU. Northern Illinois, who beat Notre Dame, so kind of back to reality a little bit. I don't know anything about the conference or anything. I just saw they lost in overtime, and I was like, "Well, that sucks." The other big game of the year, or this year of the weekend, Tennessee. I don't want to say it looked comfortable against Oklahoma, but it looked comfortable.
Yeah.
They dominated the first half. The second half was really boring. Tennessee scored 6, and Oklahoma scored 12 in the second half. Really boring. But the first half, Tennessee just looked like the better team. Mm-hmm. I don't think the score would say that. 19-3 was halftime. I don't think that would imply that Tennessee's dominating. They just look better. Oklahoma, I still think is a great program, a good team. But again, this is now Oklahoma going from the Big 12 to the SEC, different football. Excuse me. And then there was 2 other games I wanted to kind of go over.
Texas does keep number 1 spot.
And Arch Manning looked good again. I know he had 2 picks, but still, he's and it's so funny because you watch him. If you watched him play, he threw a ball down the field and then starts running to go get. He looks exactly like Peyton Manning running. I'm like, this is so scary.
It was funny. I saw that on ESPN or something.
But. And then my favorite thing about I don't know where, I think it's University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks is their quarterback's name, General Booty.
I think I have seen this.
That is incredible. That is an all-time sports name. His name is literally
General is kind of
Booty.
There, but
yeah, but I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. This is literally spelled as.
Oh, did you?
Yes. This is literally spelled General Booty. First off, I feel bad for you being named General. Second off, you can't really do anything about booty, but how. Your parents had to be under the influence of somebody to be like, okay, we're going to name our kid General Booty. General Booty. Crazy. Love the name.
If he's good, though.
Hey, he's at a D1 school, so he's got to be doing something right. And then the other one was Illinois technically upset Nebraska. Kicked Nebraska out of the top 25.
Making way for the Cougs?
What?
Is it making way for the Cougs?
They're trying. Again, if we win this weekend, we're ranked. I think Illinois... people were like, okay, you beat Kansas. Kansas hasn't. I think Kansas is still on. When they haven't won, have they won? They still, I don't think, have won. I don't know.
It's not basketball.
But Kansas, that's true. But Kansas hasn't looked very good. They are 1-3. They lost to Illinois, UNLV, and West Virginia. So they won. They beat Lindenberg. What a game. So a lot of people were like, Illinois needs to prove themselves. They proved themselves. They played very well against Nebraska. Nebraska's a pretty good team. A lot of people are high on them. They have a very good quarterback who literally has the mannerisms of Pat Mahomes. It's really creepy.
Oh, I did. Dylan Raiola?
Yeah.
Like that?
And he looks good. And so we will see. Obviously, this weekend, you have a couple big games. Notre Dame at Louisville. That's a rivalry. It's been old school, but the big one, the massive one, I don't want to look at tickets for this because I probably can't afford them yet. $250 for the cheapest one. Georgia is going to Tuscaloosa.
That'll be huge.
4 versus 2. That'll be a very fun game. Obviously, being a big rivalry game. Should be fun.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
It'd be interesting if...
Not as big as the Cougs, Boise State. Alabama.
So if Alabama wins...
I think they just swap spots. 2 and 4.
Okay, I was going to say, do you think if they dominate them, do you think they have a chance to take over 1?
No. It depends on, I guess, what Texas does, because they don't play. Texas doesn't play anyone. But I would say, in my opinion, no.
The highest they can go.
I hate when, like, I get Texas moving up because they absolutely pooped on Michigan.
Yeah.
But I also am not a fan of. Wow, really quick, Buffalo is smoking the Jaguars, 27-3.
Nice.
It's not even in the halftime.
Ooh, that is tough.
Not good. I don't think.
Jags.
Yeah, I don't think that they. Like Georgia had no reason to move down. I get Texas has a reason to move up, but I don't. To me, think that they should move that much. Obviously, it depends on, I guess, what Texas and Ohio State do.
Yeah.
You know, if Tennessee has a big weekend again, I mean, they just had a huge win. You know, obviously over Oklahoma, that's a big win. You know, I would say that if I was the committee, I would just swap them spots. I don't think I would move them too far away from anything, but.
Yeah, I think that'll be something interesting to watch, just because.
So if I can look at it. So Texas plays Mississippi State, Georgia plays at Boulder, Ohio State plays at Michigan State.
It's not a bad team.
There's not a bunch of them. Penn State plays Illinois. That's a good one. That's 9 versus 19. You know, I don't see anyone else that would be like, oh yeah, you're gonna jump.
Yeah.
But.
WSU Boise State game of the week.
I honestly don't think people understand how entertaining football is on the West Coast. Like, we get so much hate because it's like Hawaii. You can't go watch Hawaiian games, and that's why people don't go there, because you're not going to get on TV. But like, honestly, the Pac-12 After Dark is so entertaining. Like, honestly, it puts up like the Oregon-Washington State game when Gardner Minshew beat it might have been Bo Nix. It might have been Bo Nix still at the time. I don't know if it was Bo Nix yet. Is it no, it was Herbert. We beat Justin Herbert. Like, that was a really, it was like we were like 19 and they were like 5. There's just always the UW's done it a million times, being like USC and stuff. There,
yeah, I know.
Is there a frog inside?
I don't know what that is. There could be.
Wow, I think there's a frog inside the house. But anyway, should be very entertaining. So that's got to be inside unless your door's open.
I don't know. Yeah,
he wants to come on the podcast. That is incredible. I wish you guys
could
be
our
that.
first animal to join the podcast.
Let's get out of football.
Thanks for listening to the Kinda Athletic podcast. Please like and subscribe to all our social media platforms, and make sure to come back next week to hear more from the Kinda Athletic podcast.